back on Animal House Radio 840 across North America. No matter where you're listening in the world, www.animalhouseradio.com. With a quick update for you. We got a really great topic. We're talking about nutrition, and I want to talk to Nicola.
We're talking about obesity.
Yeah.
Nicola's on the phone?
Which leads into, obesity leads into, obviously,
nutrition. You're right. Yeah, for sure.
It does.
It's 100%.
It's about what you feed your animals. I want to know what the City of Toronto and Toronto Animal Services does to prevent when animals are brought into the shelters, what they do to make sure that their nutrition is good and that the animals don't become obese. And if they do, if they get animals that are obese, do they put them on a steady special diet to reduce the amount of weight that they have? We're going to get all those answers right now with our favorite person in the world, Nicola.
Hello.
Hello, my darling. How are you?
I am well. How are you two?
Not too bad. Have you been checking out the Facebook updates?
But we're doing what?
Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay,
No.
we're moving on. Our topic tonight is
Obesity in pets.
obesity.
So we're going to ask you at the shelters, what it is that you guys do to prevent obesity in your sheltered pets, and if you get pets in that are up for adoption that are obese, are you selecting owners? Is there anything that you're doing to sort of convince owners that they need to help the pet lose weight? So just talking on the topic of obesity, what do you find at the shelter that is happening in that regards to that topic?
Well, I guess the easy answer is that every animal that comes in will be seen by the veterinary technicians and by the veterinarians in due course. And, every animal is managed case by case. So certainly if there's a weight issue, we're going to monitor the weight of the animal. We're going to put them on a diet appropriate to weight loss. And, of course, it can't be too quickly, particularly with cats. It has to be managed just like with a human. You can't lose too much too quickly. That's just not healthy. So
absolutely,
it's about dietary maintenance, monitoring the weight. And, we're pretty lucky, certainly at the South Region Shelter, and actually at the North, where we have larger areas. For cats that maybe need to be a little more active, we have these glass rooms where we can put in 3, 4 cats, and it gives them more opportunity to run around. There's cat towers they can climb, they can go silly, and hopefully get a little more exercise as well. But
that's cool.
As I say, it's case by case, and we certainly do our best to reduce the weight of those that come in. And just yesterday we had 2 cats surrendered to us that are unfortunately in the grossly obese category.
Wow.
So of course, as Mike well knows, they're going to be grooming issues because they're so rotund, shall we say.
Yep.
The hind quarters are not always groomed and kept clean, so there's some concerns like that. So, again, when an overweight cat would go to adoption, these concerns are addressed, and it's important that the new owner know that, dietary maintenance and monitoring is very important. And of course, we've got to be concerned about, some other issues like diabetes and so on. So,
Sure.
Again, case by case, if we need to do some blood work and take a peek at what's going on at that level, we'll do.
I have a question for you. When it comes to, I've always wondered, a lot of donations going down to the Toronto Humane Society and the like, and all the humane societies. When you get an overweight cat and you're going to adopt it out, I mean, if you're not sure whether they're diabetic or whether they have any diseases, how much money do the shelters spend in doing blood work and stuff like that? Like what budget is prepared for animals for health concerns? Just curiosity.
It's case by case.
I would assume that.
If we have a cat that's diabetic and we find out what's going on, we can do, a rescue, we can do a transfer, we can do an adoption to someone who's willing to take on those extra medical concerns and so on. And it really is case by case. I've got to say, though, with regard to donations, because people are more aware of us and that they are giving financially and they're looking at us and wanting to contribute, it has meant a world of difference. We've got our own veterinarians now, community vet partners as well, and we're able to do so much more. We've done some amazing orthopedic surgeries. In fact, just the other day, we took out a 5-centimeter mass. I believe it was in the bladder, of all things. There's a ton of little things some pretty significant things we can do. And thanks in large part to the donations and, of course, licensing, because that revenue comes back to us as well. So, as I say, case by case, we do as much as we can, looking, of course, at the welfare of the animal and, looking towards good outcomes for certain. We're certainly not going to do procedures or try to initiate treatment for an animal that is not going to thrive, is not doing well. But certainly in the good cases, we can do so much more.
That's cool. Yeah, as you said, and I'm just going to reiterate to our listeners that, if you're sort of hemming and hawing about getting your pet license, understand that A, it's the law, and B, to register, how much is it to register, let's say, an adult cat spayed female?
$15 for 12 months.
$15. I mean, and that $15 is going to go towards medical care for a lot of these cats in the shelters. So, I think it's just, if you kind of don't know if I should make a donation or don't know this, then just get your pet license. Then you're doing, the old killing two birds with one stone. You're getting your pet license, which is the law anyway, even though it might be an indoor cat. And at the same time, you're sending a few bucks to the shelters and allowing them to do better things.
Nicola, you have yourself a wonderful, wonderful weekend. They say it's going to rain, so that probably means it won't.
Well, I'll tell you before we go, if it is raining this weekend, drop by PetSmart in Leaside, Laird and Eglinton. We're having a 2-day adopt-a-thon. So if it's a rainy day, come on in and maybe bring home a little creature to keep you company on those rainy days.
Awesome.